Hello, Laura.
Hi, Joanna. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Well, thank you.
Good, good. Okay. So, this podcast, we're talking all about ego. So, this is another good one. This is one that hits close to home at times. So, here we go. Okay. So, I'm sure we all know there's such a thing as a healthy ego versus an unhealthy ego, right? So, unhealthy would be, when we're not confident in who we are, we're not assertive enough to speak our words and to talk to people and to say what we feel. We kind of lose um, that self-love, self-respect, right? Um, it's basically an unbalanced or unchecked ego. So what we want is an ego which we're assertive, we're able to speak our mind, and we're able to express ourselves in a way that's not offensive to others, but still protecting ourselves and our rights to exist, right? And to say what we feel is in our hearts and in our minds and in our soul, right? So I'm going to start off by saying, is perception reality? This is something I've struggled with because I might say things and I say them or I even write them and I think it's fine. And for some reason, they're not perceived well, right? So the question I have is it a reflection of me or them if they're not receiving what I say well, right? So this has happened to me where, I just say something that I think is harmless. It's not, de- it's not offensive. It's not a personal attack. It's just something. And again, it's not perceived well. And so, um, and I've been told perception's reality. And I'm like, I don't think so because I mean, I know that everyone's perception is different, right? We talked about this. We can read the same sentence, right? And you can emphasize one word or the other. If I said, I recommend eating a healthy diet, right? And someone could say, I recommend eating a healthy diet. And just simply the emphasis on a word could change the whole meaning, right? Do you see that? Do you feel that do you
Oh,
understand or
yes.
agree with what I'm trying to say? Because it's bad enough that we bring our own experiences from the past or whatever have you, right? When reading something or hearing what someone has to say to us. Then when you put it in text message or email, it's even worse because you don't
Wow.
know what you're reading. You don't even know how to perceive that, right? How is this person, you don't know what that person's intent is, right? You're not reading the social cues, you're not reading the nonverbal language, right? So
Right.
it can throw you off, right? So,
Absolutely.
so this has happened to me. Now, I've watched a video, I know it was for work, and it talked about the three ego states of, parent, adult, and child, right? And, as a parent, I'm sure I know we try to be good parents, right? We're trying to do the right thing and, teach our kids well. And it comes from a good place, right? We have good intentions. Now, granted, they may not receive it
Absolutely.
well,
We love our babies.
right? They may not receive it well, but we have good intentions. Um, and it matters too, now that our children are adults, when I say something, I'm saying it to them as they're an adult. And sometimes I think they're taking it as they're still the child, right? And so it's almost like offensive because they feel like you're controlling me or you're telling me I have to do this when I don't want to do this, and that's not exactly the case, right? I understand they're adults and I'm offering this healthy advice, they can take it or not, and it's up to them, but again, it's perception, right? How are they perceiving it? And what's really a healthy ego? Is it, you know or do they understand that my intentions are good, right? I'm not trying to make them look bad, I'm just trying to help them. What do you think? I feel like I'm talking too much.
I think that it is perception, and when we do speak to one another, it can come across in a different way. I think it's very important for us to choose our words. Um, the choice of words are very important because there are times when we say things or even our tone and it comes out sounding like it's harsh and we didn't even mean it that way. So
Mhm.
for me, I try to think about what words I'm choosing, the tone of my voice, and I've had that happen too with my own grown adult daughters, where I've said things that I really didn't mean it that way, and that it was taken in a different way, and their perception was of me maybe not being nice or wanting to control or tell them what to do, and then they become on the defense. But again, like you're saying, where are they at in their ego?
Hmm.
So it is um, it is a very tender place to go with people, especially no matter what environment we're in, whether we're in our home life with our families, our friends, our loved ones, extended family, or even in the workplace. And
Right.
all the texting and emails, that is even more so misunderstood.
Exactly.
Like I say to you, Joanna, I'm not the best speller in the world. So for me, my verbal communication is truly important. So I prefer to have a one-on-one verbal conversation. Yes, and sometimes I'm texting or I'm voice texting. It comes up really different, and we've all done that before. So it is about our tone. It is about the words that we choose, and it is about each of our perception, because when it comes out, like you could, even if you're a strong person, Joanna and I are both Italian women, and we're
Mhm.
strong, and sometimes it sounds like we're mad, or sometimes it sounds like
I
we're
I
on
like the
edge.
word I
Something's
like the word
happening.
passionate because even the way I'm
We
talking
are
right now, right?
passionate.
I'm
We
passionate, right?
are
And I
passionate.
I get it. I feel it where I think
But
people,
people think we're mad, and they don't realize that we're
right,
we're just
people
full of life.
perceive me wrong, right? Because I come off very,
Yeah, you're
I'm also
strong.
from New York, right? So I'm pretty direct, right? I'm pretty
Yeah,
strong
so it
and
comes off.
direct. What you see is what you get, but I always say, but my intentions are always good. And I think that's the key, right?
And it is.
Where is it coming from? Is what we're saying coming from good intent or bad intent, right? And I can tell you, I never operate from bad intent. And I would like to think that
No,
people know me, right? Whether it be in the workplace or at home, especially, right? The ones you love, they should know you
I think their
that you're in
perception sometimes is off.
the what there's
That
yeah,
their
that's a
perception is off if they don't really know who
well,
we are.
well, that's
Or
the thing. I
maybe,
mean, I'm their mother, right? So it's like, well, why would I want bad things to, I mean, I actually had to ask that of one of my kids. I said, do you think I have bad intentions? Right.
right.
And of course they're like, no. And I'm like, okay, well then, maybe you can receive what I'm saying a little bit better because I'm just trying to help. Right. And I understand you're an adult and you have your own opinions. Right. And that's okay. We respect each other's opinions. We may not agree, but it's what you're as a parent. And I believe we're always parents, right? Till the, till
Absolutely.
until the day we die. At least
Oh,
that's what I
yeah.
signed up
Doesn't
for,
matter how
right?
old
I
you are.
understand they're adult children. They may take my advice or not. That's up to them. I understand they're adults. But I would like to think that they would still at least listen to what I'm saying, right? Whether or not they take the advice. It would be nice if they would just listen, right, to what I had to say. And sometimes it's tough to even to get that, which is sad, right? Because again, we have to operate from, is this person, do they have good intentions? I know if I read something, if for some reason I read it and I'm like, wow, what is this? I stop and think, maybe did I miss something? Did I say something? Did I do something to provoke this? And then I sit back and go, well, maybe this isn't about me, right? And then that's when you kind of go back and you go, okay, or go back to the person and say, did I say something to upset you, or did I, reading this wrong? Not right away take offense to it, but just kind of, understand where that person's coming from, assess their intentions, assess is there another story behind what they're saying, right? I think that's crucial too, because again, there's a lot of miscommunication, misperceptions out there. And,
Right.
I tend to generally think people know me and they know I have good intentions. So it's like whenever I say something and they take it harshly, I'm like, wow, I don't know where it's coming from, but I'm trying to be, more understanding, try to word things maybe better, or maybe soften my delivery. I don't know, but I'm telling you, it's hard because when you are who you are, it's tough, right? To change who you are, right? To if you're passionate, you dull your passion. You know what I mean? Like,
No,
I don't know. I mean,
that's your gift. Part of your gift
that's
is being passionate.
well, I would like
That's
to
what
think, I
creates
mean,
your gift.
well, I mean, and we talked about this too, where we all have gifts, right? And we have weaknesses too, right? And so my big thing is, we talk about team all the time, right? I know at work we always talk about, oh, we're a team, and I'm all for a team. But my experience is that at work, I never really felt a team was in place. Like I felt like, and it's not that I didn't want it, it's that I didn't see it happen, right? And I'm the kind of person, I try to do better than I did the day before, right? I always try to, because I'm always trying to improve, right? Make myself better, right? But I can also see where people might perceive that as, oh, I'm an overachiever, I'm trying to make them look bad. And that is totally not the case, right? But I do believe that's how I'm being perceived, right? So that's a tough thing. It's like, we all have gifts and we have strengths and we have weaknesses, right? And it's like I truly believe, especially in a team sense, we should be able to shine our gifts and work together
Absolutely.
to collaborate and create this beautiful end product, right? Whatever our goal is, we can achieve so much more together, right? More minds, better minds, the more the better, right? Um, but I never felt that way, which was sad. I never felt that in a corporate environment where we could actually really be a cohesive, supportive team that complements one another, where we all shine bright, right? Our gifts
Well,
shine.
that's because people aren't always in that same mindset or that frequency of allowing other people's gifts to be elevated. Usually, the human nature, if maybe I would say human nature, our society teaches us to be, all about ourselves, selfish, ego driven. And so when we're in these work environments, um, there's one chief and there's many Indians running around. And if one, person, I always say the greatest leader has many key factors around them, all these people that have their beautiful gifts and allows them to elevate up just as high as them. That's a great leader, right? But we are all in this environment that it's competitive, and that's part of the ego. The ego doesn't allow you to be in your authentic self. And your authentic self takes you somewhere else and really doesn't allow you to use your gift or even shine at your greatest potential because you are so busy trying to outdo your coworker, your neighbor, somebody else, your family member, that you don't even shine as bright as you can because you're trying to outdo them by putting out their light, dimming their gift, dimming who they are. And as you're too busy doing that, you can't even use your passion and your gift to be as powerful as you possibly can be on this earth. So there's a
Right.
lot of stuff going on within the human mind and the body when we are out there amongst the people, amongst our own children. When our children get defensive when we're telling them something, we're telling them out of love, not out of ego, right? And our kids
That's
get
right.
telling me, okay, so maybe I need to come in the back door instead of the front door and approach it in a different way. Maybe I need to season my words a little bit more with that pinch of salt that I always talk about because salt makes everything taste better. You've heard me say that.
Right.
But it is truly about our minds and how we do perceive things. Like, how do we perceive when somebody's speaking to us or when somebody's doing something, or maybe somebody has more than we have monetarily, finances or things or stuff, and we look at that and go, what about me, what about me? It isn't about that. We all have something to bring to the table that is so beautiful. If we could
Right.
just really see that instead of
Right. We
being
have to be
caught in this
mindful,
whole
right?
storm of crazy.
When we're operating from that unhealthy ego, right? That's where the jealousy, that's where the
That's
envy
where all that
sets
comes
in. That's
in.
where,
It's so
they don't,
sad.
people feel I'm not good enough, I'm lesser than, they lose self-respect, they
And
lose
then they
lose
start doing
self-love.
things to you in the
And
workplace, and
and it's unfortunate, right? Because I mean,
it's
in the
bad.
workplace, like you
It's
said,
gross.
a supervisor, manager, they should be a true leader,
A true
brings
leader.
their team together,
Absolutely. And
right?
elevates their gifts.
Right, elevates their gifts,
They really
collaborates,
do.
works to collaborate, for everyone to collaborate to
That's a
achieve
true
the end
leader.
goal, right? They're supportive. They want their employees to shine. They want their employees to do well, right? It's not about, oh, let's just keep them in line, you know what I mean? Or sometimes
That's
I've seen it where
terrible.
they pit employees against one another. They'll say something to one employee and then they'll, about another employee, and it's like there should be no place for
It's
that, right?
awful. I
It's
was just
terrible, and it creates this competitive environment that
division.
shouldn't exist, right? It should
That's
be
why
one.
there's no unity inside those inside places, even amongst families. I was
Yeah,
just telling you about, and I would like to share this about. I had received a phone call a few hours ago from my friend Arnell, and she is such a beautiful soul, and she's not sounding like herself. And she was expressing to me and how she is working. She's been working for years in this one store for many years in the health department. And um her boss, she moved to a different location in another state. And she's working, and she's watched her boss execute people off, just gotten rid of them because they were shiny or they were good at what they do. Well, now she that's being done to her, and she's having such a struggle that she has anxiety over it. And it is just so unpleasant. And she says, I
mm,
feel so awful within myself. And she was saying how the projection of whatever this woman is projecting on her, she thinks it's about her. And I'm like, this isn't about you. This is this lady's ego,
that's
because
right.
she sees something in you that is so bright and so brilliant that their numbers in that department have gone up so high that her manager had told her, we don't want you to leave. And she says, I can't work like this. He's like, let me see what I can do about this. But meanwhile, she is being torn down mentally and physically because of some woman that's over her. Her manager, who is a boss over her, is projecting all these horrible things on her. Why? Because she has lack within her own self. And that is where we need to look at ourselves. Why are we acting out? Why are we treating the people the way we're doing? Why are we stepping on the backs of our coworkers, of our families, of our friends, of our whoever we are connected with, because they are bright and they are shining and they have beautiful gifts? Why are we not elevating them up and saying, great job, and standing shoulder to shoulder alongside of them instead of acting intimidated and being in our ego and having now to dummy them down because we feel less than? That's not being a real human to me. Is that being a real
Mhm.
human to you, Joanna?
No, that is beautifully said,
Terrible.
Laura.
And we've
Beautiful.
experienced that.
Brava. I'm telling you, that is the truth. 100% the truth. I couldn't have
And
said it
then
better myself, honestly. I mean, and here's the catch. We all have our own gifts. We all can
we all
shine.
do. We're
They're
so
different,
different
right? Your
and
gifts are not
beautiful.
mine. My gifts are not
No,
yours.
you have
They're
so much that you
unique.
bring, I can't even bring it.
Well, vice versa, right? There are gifts that you have that I don't have, right? You have,
All of
I
us.
mean, and that's the thing. But we complement each other, right?
Yes.
We shine bright together, right? We complement each other. We work together. We That just makes us stronger as a team, right?
Better.
That will elevate. That makes us bigger and better. That'll elevate us to the next level, right? And you and I understand that. And it's unfortunate that we don't see it, or at least I didn't see it enough. Maybe it's out there, and if it is, my apologies. I've
I
just not
think
seen it in my own experience,
I feel
unfortunately.
like where we're sitting now in our lives, you and I, we are sitting now. We have more understanding has what has been happening through our lives, because before we were not understanding that. I was not understanding that what was happening to me, just like my friend, she couldn't understand it. So I started to explain to her, this isn't about you. This is this person being jealous and projecting because you are shining, and not that you're running around wanting to be the brightest light. It's just natural. It's coming from a place of passion. And so I feel like where you and I are sitting now, we're at the best place in our lives than we ever have been, that we can actually understand more. It's like layer upon layer of understanding what it means to be in our ego. And yes, do we come out in the other side of our ego? There's a healthy and an unhealthy. Yes, we do that. That's when we fall back in when we come out of unhealthy ego, we automatically, if we're doing our work, we fall back into healthy, right?
Right, right. And we don't let, like you said, what other people
Evolving.
say, affect us, right? Because that could make
Yes,
us feel
this,
really bad and impact our ego, right? We what
our
people say
healthy
to us,
ego could be destroyed.
right, exactly. If we allow it, if we don't stop, like you said, and say to ourselves, okay, this is not me, this is them, right? This is them
Have to
projecting.
realize where it's coming from, really,
Right.
truly.
We do. We have, and you said it beautifully. I mean, we're all human, right? So
We're human.
we all can feel these emotions, right? We're not trying to say that they don't exist, right? They exist, right? What we have to do is recognize what it is and not act on that, right? Act in a positive manner, right? If for
Absolutely.
example we feel like, oh gosh, I wish I had that. That's, one can say, oh, that's a feeling of envy or jealousy. Well, okay, turn it around and say, you know what can I do to strengthen that in within me? Like what can I do or learn to make me better at that, right? You change it so that you empower yourself to say, you know what? And again, we may not be the best at it, but elevate ourselves to the point where, we can get better at it, right? And realize that, what, we're not going to be great at everything. Like I said, everyone's gets to have their strengths and their gifts, and they have that right to shine, right? And we're going to shine in a different way, and that's good. That's great.
Absolutely. In a
So,
beautiful way.
again, it's about complimenting and realizing, we're not perfect individuals. We're not great at everything, right? We have
No.
strengths, we have weaknesses. We're not meant to be perfect, right? We're just meant to do the best we can. And like I said it before,
But hold
I
the
always try to do
space.
better than I did the day before, right? I
Absolutely.
think
It's a beautiful way to think.
and
Believe
if
me,
there's
and
any
live.
competition, it's within myself, right? I'm not
Right.
competing against John or Jane or Nancy. I'm
I like
competing
when
with
I
my,
play games, though. I do get a little crazy. I do. When it comes to like certain sport games, I get a little bit
do you?
competitive crazy. Yeah,
Yeah. No,
just a
I mean, of
little.
course I'll cheer a
But it's
team on
just
and
fun and fun.
I want my team to win, right? But it's like,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, first of all,
We're
I,
all
I
winners.
right. And you know what?
We're
We all
all
have our
winners.
gifts and we all have to realize that, we're not going to win all the time. And it's okay if we lose one here and there. And it's okay, I mean, if we didn't have a great day, right? There's always tomorrow, right? So there's always the bright side of things. So, but yeah. And, we talked about the adult parent child role. I want to kind of repeat it, but it's important, especially with our adult kids, recognize, right? There are adults, right? And we just want to just come to the table and just share healthy advice. And hopefully, if they want to take it, great. And if they don't, they won't. You know what I mean? But it's nice
We
to
just,
know that we care, right? That's the deal,
right.
right? We're just trying to help. So,
Just assist in any way we can. And I also feel like, being human like is really holding each other up and holding that space for people.
mhm,
Instead of taking it as, oh, that person is shining brighter than me, and then you feel, discouraged or whatever. Come alongside that person, encourage that person, come together, collaborate, be, a power team instead of looking at it as a threat and being in your ego of, oh, I've got to get ahead more than this person. Come and encourage. Come and stand with that person. What a beautiful place to be in. They have each person has such a beautiful plate to offer. If we just change our thoughts and our thinking and really be in a healthy way mentally and
mhm,
emotionally, we wouldn't run into all this ego. I have to have more toys and I'm the winner, and we wouldn't go
right,
through all that.
right.
And part of it is
And
society set us up that way. I mean, and we all
true.
drank the Kool-Aid. I always talk about the
Well,
Kool-Aid.
we're always chasing that carrot, right? We're always getting to that next level. And, I get it. It's good to have that motivation. I'm not trying to, I
A
do,
healthy motivation.
it's a healthy
That's
motivation.
the healthy motivation to get up and do it, right? To propel forward.
Exactly. There's nothing wrong with that. And, sometimes we have to understand, you know, that having a healthy ego is also recognizing that this is, like you said, this is not mine to own, right? If someone
Oh, it's
says
not
something
mine.
horrible about you or says something that's projecting, it's not yours. It's not you. It's what it's. what they're feeling, right? It's what they're going through. Um, I don't know. I feel like, and always bringing in the golden rule, always putting people,
Always.
thinking of others, not just yourself, right? And part of having a healthy ego is recognizing that, you know what, owning your mistakes, or not just that,
That is a healthy ego.
admitting your weaknesses. You know what? I'm directionally challenged. Okay. I have no problem saying that. And I've had people try to use that against me, and I'm like, it is what it is. I'm not going to try to proclaim that I am what I'm not.
No,
You know what I mean?
right.
And I'm not, and I'm confident enough to say it's okay. Like, to me, that's healthy to say, you know what? This is not my strength. Right. And we should all feel comfortable saying that without like making ourselves feel like we're not worthy or we're useless. You know what I'm saying? We all have,
Taken me
again,
years to get that.
strengths and weak, right? I mean, we all have
Yeah, it's
strengths
taken
and
me years.
weaknesses. Show me the perfect human being, right? There isn't
Nobody's
one.
perfect.
No, and we shouldn't
Yeah.
judge. We
Mhm.
and you know what? And I say this and I mean this truly, we're all equal. I don't care what anyone says, we're all equal. Okay. No one is in a better position or to higher position to be able to say, I'm this, I'm that, and
Well,
judge
that is
another.
the ego when that is striving in
Right.
that
That's
way.
the unhealthy, over
That is like
prideful.
you're below me, I'm above you, and all
Yeah.
this
And that,
conditioning beliefs.
and I say this too about our egos. I feel sometimes we are our own worst enemies, right? When we're
Yeah,
not ready to take in good advice or helpful advice, that's our ego working against us, right? Because if we were confident, whole people who wanted to just do better, we would take that constructive criticism, right? We would know, and if it was coming from a good place, obviously, because then there's people that sometimes have bad intentions. But again, if you know the person and their intent is good, and you know they want what's best for you, right? A close family member, someone that loves you, someone that you know you trust, why not take that constructive criticism and utilize it to your advantage, right? That's a healthy ego. That's saying, you know what, I could use some help in this, and thank you for that advice, right? That just makes you a better human. It makes you, you're saying, you know what, I may not know this, but I'm willing to learn, or I'm willing to be better at it, right? I
that's
mean,
right.
it's
We're all
beautiful.
different.
Exactly, it's beautiful to say, you know what, I know what I'm good at and I know what I'm not good at. And it's okay if I'm not good at it, because I'll work at it. Or maybe
I
I'll
know.
say, you know what? I'm not the best at it at this. I'll say to my husband, who, we're direct opposites, but we complement each other, right? Hey, I'm
Right,
not
you're
good
a
at this.
team.
Yeah, you're better at it. You do this and I'll do that, right? It's a nice working relationship when you can do that. You can count on one another, you can trust each
It's a
other,
balance.
right? You compliment, you
It's a
just know
balance.
it's a balance, and it's this beautiful, I don't know, what do you call that? Synchronicity, where it all just kind of lines up and falls in together. And it's just magic. You use that word all the time, magic,
It is
right?
magic. It is magic.
Yeah.
And it is about a good, pairing up and meeting each other right there,
Yeah. Holding space for one another,
holding space.
right?
And it is magic when you do that. When you come in with a better mindset and not um coming in with a mindset of lack. And then you can move in your passion and you can move in your authenticity. You don't
Right.
have to be in your ego. You can cheer on the person that's running the race right alongside you. And, when the person gets a promotion or when somebody's celebrating their birthday or their business is thriving or they have a new home, you bless that person.
You
Because let me tell
compliment
you
them.
something.
Yeah.
When I have people in my life and when I see the things that they've obtained or they have or they've achieved in whether it be in their profession, whether it be in business or their homes or or even having a relationship, I automatically are happy, genuinely happy for that person and wish them well. Because as you
Me
are
too.
wishing them well, it's
Mm-hmm.
coming right back to you. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't do it just to get something back.
No,
I do
no.
it because it's a beautiful gesture. You wish them well. And when you can actually wish somebody well, it comes right back on you in another way. It can come on the same way, a different way,
Right.
but it is a blessing. You don't start looking, well, that person is better than me and their job, or they're more skilled, or they know how to do this or that, or like you said, your son running. Well, good for that person. They can run faster, they can spell better, they're smarter, they have the position that they had gotten. Even if you felt like you should have earned that position, wish them well, because for some reason you're not in that position for a reason. Maybe look at it through other eyes. Maybe you're being spared. And I've had
Or
that
maybe
happen to me.
something better is coming down the
Something
line
better,
in divine timing, right?
better.
When it's meant to happen. I mean,
Something,
that's
there's
the
always
thing.
a blessing around the corner.
There really is. And sometimes I don't know about you, but I look back and, when you're going through all these difficult times and you don't understand it, but then you get so long in the future and you look back and you go, oh, I get it. I know why that happened, right? Everything happens for a reason, right? We may not understand it at the
We
time,
don't always understand.
but you know what? We have to trust. And that's a big one too. Trust, right? Have faith,
Trusting,
right? Not
have faith,
operating in a place of void or lack
or
or
lack.
fear, right? Right?
Yeah,
No fear,
it's a big.
right?
And
Right?
that is part of the ego, isn't it? Having
Sure,
having
sure.
fear,
Mm-hmm.
having
Right,
lack. These are
right,
things that are operating not in a healthy way,
right. And
So
I'm going to read some things we took from the internet because I think it's a sense of self-worth, self-respect that allows people to navigate life's challenges with resilience. I think you said this, right? When you have a healthy ego, you feel free to express yourself, you feel heard and loved, you feel a sense of belonging, connected to your higher self, right?
belonging.
Um,
Love
when
that.
you feel unworthy or without a healthy ego, you feel lonely, you feel disconnected, lesser than, and you start to compare yourself and then grab at personal gains for yourself only, right? So we need to catch ourselves if we ever get into that feeling of, you know, desperation, I'll call it, right? That's an unhealthy ego, right?
Unhealthy.
Right. Weakness of ego is characterized by such traits as impulsive or immediate behavior. Again, this was taken from the internet. A sense of inferiority, excuse me, or an inferiority complex, a fragile sense of identity, unstable emotionality, and excessive vulnerability, right? Perception of reality and self can be distorted. So, these are things to be mindful, right? When we're not feeling at our best, we need to stop and self check, right? And say, why is this happening? Why are we feeling this way? And correct it, right? Take steps
Absolutely.
to break out of that and really work hard to, maybe take a moment and nurture ourselves, right? Do something that we love, get
I would
grounded,
I would
self-centered. Yeah.
I would say, really truly, and even over the weekend when I was in class, comes down to the same thing. Go out in nature.
Yeah.
Go out in nature. Even the teacher had said, go out in nature, go and reboot your energy,
Yes.
go listen to the birds, go touch the tree, go put
Yep.
your feet on the ground, take those rubber shoes off,
That's
take
right.
it off, because it will reset your body. It will change how you feel. We
Right.
are so used to do, go, go, go. We are so used to just being these robots that are doing the same thing, but we're not taking any time out to self-care. We would show up in a better way if we took time for ourselves and self-care. We would not be snappy. We would not be rude. We would not be looking at what other people have. Why don't I have it? We would not be stepping on other people's feet or toes or backs to get to where we think we need to be. If we would get centered and ground ourselves into the earth and really pray, whatever you need to do, whatever you believe, you need to become centered. You need to
Hmm.
acknowledge, self-care yourself, acknowledge how
Yes.
you feel, be aligned, and
Yes.
live your life with purpose instead of being
Mhm.
unhappy and trying to find all the things that are wrong. Find the things that are right. The glass is
Right.
half full, not half empty, and start
Exactly.
living from that place. Start living from
Right.
that place, right? Because we
Absolutely.
all feel the difference. I feel the difference when I start my day off with meditation, praying, grounding, movement. My
Right.
day starts a beautiful. When I get together with Joanna and my other friend Lacey and walk around that fountain and just listen to the birds and take beautiful photos and be in
Hmm.
nature, it clears all the debris away. And if you don't make time for self-care, again, we're so busy caring about our hair and our nails and our toes and our faces, and that's
Right.
all the outer, the adornment. But what is within the soul and the heart? Get back
Right.
to basics. I always say the same thing. I can't help
No,
it.
no, it's true.
Get
Like
back,
like you said, the exterior, yeah, it's nice to look,
realign
it's
up.
good to look nice, but how about feeling good inside? How
Oh,
about
and then
how
you don't
about
be
taking
projecting.
right? And a lot of us we always talk about, right? We can't help those that don't want to help themselves, right?
Right. Can't do
People want to
anybody's work. Can't do it.
people have to want the help, right? And
Yes.
we can't force anyone. We can't, it's up to
No,
them, right? And unfortunately, it's our ego that doesn't allow us to get the help that we need,
get the help.
right?
Exactly.
I mean, you talked about
Keeps us
all the
stuck.
great things, right? You talk about all the great things with getting your hair done, getting a facial, getting your nails done. What about one of the modalities that you, why not get some what hypnotherapy? You know what I mean?
I know, it's so
So that you
beautiful.
don't, so that you won't have, anxiety, that you can sleep better at night, that you're not clenching your jaw because you're so stressed,
Oh,
right? Why not get some cranial unwinding that, and you can describe
years
more
of,
because you're doing it, but
yeah,
certain points in your body that there's actually pressure points that you can release that pressure,
tension,
right? And the tension, and it all
allowing
stems from the mind and it
the
carries out
fascia
down
and the
through the
fluid
body.
to move
So
through your body.
why not get
Hmm.
some cranial unwinding, right? How about, energy clearings, right? We pick up sometimes on people's energy, right? And it's not good all the time, right? How about
Not good.
clearing that energy so we have a good positive focus in mind so we can go out and do what we do on a daily basis, right? Without having that heavy weight that's, you know, tearing us down, right? Why not get some of those clearings so we can show up in our greater self and do great things, right? Um,
Absolutely. And even for, having somebody come in, Joanna's a coach. She is a life coach, but she's also a coach that can help you with your career to get you started, to help you navigate through that. There's so many beautiful things that she can offer, modalities to assist. I mean, there is so much that you can seek out and have the tools and the resources. And, we are showing
I'm gonna
up.
bring up our cards here so that give me 1 second.
We are showing up for
Yeah,
whoever decided to be here.
right.
And
So
you're showing up for
again,
yourself.
we're doing these podcasts because these are topics that we feel are so important to discuss, that we are here and we do this, free of charge, these podcasts, and we want this dialogue. We hope that eventually to invite people to our podcast so that they can share and quote unquote tell us their dilemma, right? But for now, it's kind of scary to be on recorded and being posted on social media. So we understand we're just going to kind of do our own thing for a little bit, Laura and I. We're just going to post these podcasts and so people can understand where we're coming from, so that they can relate, that they can say, you know what, that's me, that's what I feel, or and not feel alone, and
Not
have a better
feeling.
understanding of what's really happening, right? And then, like I said, our card here is posted. Our cards are here. For those that are seeking assistance, we're ready and willing to help, right? We
Absolutely.
understand that that first step sometimes is not very easy, right? It's we defeat ourselves,
It's
right?
not
Again, that
easy.
ego gets
The
the best
ego
of us,
holds us
and
back.
unfortunately, it's our worst enemy. And I can say that for myself as well. We need to break out of that. Whatever it is, if you feel, you know, it's the finances, well, like you said, Laura, if you can get your nails done, I think you can get a hypnotherapy session, right? I mean, it's nice to treat yourself to something like that, right?
Absolutely.
you
Well,
know,
it's the
and
inner work.
it's the
It's the
inner work
inner
that,
work, right?
right.
Taking care of
And
the inside out. I was
yes,
telling that to my granddaughter today. I said, "You are so beautiful, but just remember, Arya, that you're beautiful from your heart, from the inside out. And then when you're beautiful in here, reflects on the outer of
right,
your face and your body." This is what I told my little 18-month-old granddaughter who happens to get it.
right.
At least
It's
I
true
think
because,
she
and
does.
they're so young, they're not painted yet, right?
She's absorbed.
Thankfully,
Yeah.
right? Because
She's
sometimes we're
absorbing all what I'm putting out there, and it's very true. It's from the inside that we are glowing. It's from the passion on the inside of us. It's whatever's in us will come out through our actions, through our mouth, through our
yes,
behavior. It will come out. It
right.
will have,
And
so whatever you have inside will come out. If you're portraying, anger and unhappiness and not content, you are going to project on other people this. But if you have passion and love and joy and many beautiful things to share with the world, that's going to come out too. And who doesn't want to be a part of that? Who doesn't want to meet another soul, another human, so delightful, so happy, so eager and joyful to share? And that's how we
mhm,
all grow when we come together.
mhm. Right. And like I said, we have to catch ourselves when we have those unhealthy patterns and we get stuck, right? And
We have to.
we want better things. We want to elevate, right? We want to go to that next level, but we can't, right? We're stuck and we're attracting and we mirror what we are, right? So we have to be mindful of, you
I
know,
know.
we have to take that step. I always in the introductory video I did for Reach, the number one priority is health and safety, right? And what I mean by health, I mean mental and physical health, right? So
So,
the mind, body, soul, spirit, gut, right, Laura, you said that all has to
yes,
be in line, right? What we consume, what we eat, how we our perception of things, like I said, our outlook on life, right? We want if you find yourself like falling into negativity and loneliness and you know a feeling of desperation or despair or feel coming from a place of void or you're lost, you don't know, I'm unhappy, I don't know if this is what I should be doing. Well, then you know what, that's where you reach out to people like us, right, that can assist you, because trust
absolutely.
me, there is so much out there, infinite possibilities, right? There's so many
Absolutely. I love
things,
that.
there are so many things that we can do to get ourselves out of that rut, right? That hamster wheel for
Absolutely.
some of us, right? Some of us are on that hamster
It's
wheel.
just taking the step.
We
Take
keep
the
going,
step.
going, going. We can't stop, right? Or we keep doing the same thing, or the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Sometimes we just have to take that next step, that next level to elevate ourselves, to get us to the place where we want to be. Maybe have that dream job or that passionate, you know, goal that we want to attain. You know what I mean? Why not? It's there for the taking. Why not grab it? Right? Why not take it
That's
for
right.
ourselves and be happy and be
Time stops for
fulfilled?
no one.
Right?
Time
Be
stops
happy.
for no one. You know
Right.
that song by Cher? If
Right.
I can turn back time, well,
Right.
it doesn't. So we
Right. We
can't.
don't want to
So
have missed opportunities or have limiting
yeah.
beliefs, right? We
And
want
if
to
you do,
own.
that's okay. Then just jump on the next one.
Exactly. We can always
Yeah,
come out of it, but it's up to us, right? We have to take that step, right?
it
When we
really
know that,
is.
oh, this is not where I want to be, take that step, get that assistance, reach out, right? Get that guidance that's needed. Yes, you have to do the work. Yes, you're the one that has to commit to it and agree to it, right? And take
Oh,
the
you have
necessary
to.
steps, right? You got to do the work. But why not have someone there supporting you, guiding you, helping you along the way, right?
I
So
believe
anyway,
that.
so that those are our cards. I mean, it's pretty much self-explanatory. Like I said, we're here for you. Our phone numbers are there, our email addresses. Um, you can join Reach, the support group on Facebook. It's a group. Or if you go to YouTube at Reach, which is REACHE dash IP3NY, that's the channel. You can see all these videos that we're doing. You'll see my introductory video, which is the reason why I started Reach. And then you'll see my interviews as well as these podcasts. So this is your opportunity to do some searching, researching, and seeing what we're all about, and starting taking the necessary steps, right, to get you where you want to be. Start with,
Absolutely.
just watching some videos and seeing if this is for you, and then taking that next step when you're ready, right?
Yes, I agree. I just step out, step out.
Yep.
First step
So
is always maybe be a little bit difficult, but you maybe feel resistance, but you know what? The best thing I could have ever done for myself was say no to fear and start showing up for
that
myself. And it was hard, but
exactly.
I started showing up. And when I started showing up, a lot of good things started to happen. And
That's
I'm
right.
happy
Fear
about that.
fear gets a hold of all of us. It's a tough one, and
Hmm.
we have to learn to overcome it. It's
Yeah,
uncomfortable, right? We're not saying it's easy at times, but
very uncomfortable.
you got to get through it, and there's no other way but through it. You have to face it head on and address it, and keep going. Like I said, don't stop. We fall into that. Sometimes we take winding turns, and sometimes those winding turns lead us in a direction where I guess we needed to learn another lesson, right? But let's get back on that path and on that direction of where we want to be. So
Yeah.
yeah. So, all right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to stop share this. And I want to thank you again, Laura, for sharing this
Thank you,
space with me.
Joanna.
I think we always have great discussions, and I'm so thankful for you.
Thank
Like I
you.
said,
Grateful for you too.
I'm so excited for what our future will entail. I
Open
I
doors and
hope.
opportunity, divine
Thank you. That's what I was
appointments.
looking for. Was ready for you to say that. Thank you. Open doors and opportunities for those that are ready and willing, right? This is not for those that we understand and we respect everyone. If you're not ready, we get it. But when you are, when you're ready to take that step, we hope you'll reach out to us because we want to help
Absolutely.
you,
Arms
right? We
wide
want to
open.
assist. Exactly. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording.